So you have found a gorgeous masculine man and you want to bring him closer. You want him to see you as his future, as his potential wife, and you want to create a beautiful, strong relationship with him that is going to stand the test of time. And I'm imagining that you've probably tried being like the super seductress in the bedroom. You've tried being the most amazing girlfriend, meeting all of his needs, and you've done a ton of self love work to know that you are deeply worthy of having this type of relationship and of being loved and adored in this way. Yet, you might be feeling or experiencing that you have to choose between men who are really in their masculine energy, where they are confident, they know where they're going in life, they've got a direction, they've got good boundaries, good communication, and they just have this masculine presence that just makes your whole nervous system go, whew, okay, I can relax now. Like somebody else is taking the masculine pole, so I don't need to. But you find it really hard to find these men who also have the emotional intelligence. So you feel as though you have to choose between a beautiful, gorgeous, masculine man or a man who has emotional IQ. And it's difficult. Perhaps you're finding it's difficult to find both of these things together in the same man. So if this has been your experience, then let me tell you, there is not a shortage of these beautiful men available. There is an abundance of these gorgeous, gorgeous men available. There's just a small internal shift that is available to you to call in these men and to support them to really open up to you and to come closer to you. Now, it's going to surprise you what this shift is, because when I went through my journey with this was not on my radar at all. It had to be really pointed out to me by a coach, and I was so surprised. I was like, I couldn't believe that a seemingly so simple shift could be the key to unlocking a beautiful, amazing relationship with a man who knows himself, has healthy boundaries, and has the emotional intelligence and connection and is available for that level of relationship. So I'll cut straight to the chase. I don't want to make you wait. The shift is, it sounds so simple. It is deceptively simple. So bear with me for the rest of this video to know how to actually unfold this piece of information. But it all revolves around how much you trust him. Trust goes so much further than just knowing that he's not going to cheat on you. And trust goes so much further than just believing and thinking that he's a good person and thinking well of him. It goes all the way to giving him the benefit of the doubt, even when you don't know his side of events and maybe it doesn't look favorable, but you continue to trust in his highest good and his commitment to you, his commitment to the relationship. It goes to the extent of trusting that his way of doing things, even though it's different from your way of doing things, is good enough. And that you don't need to correct him. You don't need to take over the task and show him how it's done. And you don't need to criticize his way of doing it. You trust at a really deep, fundamental level that actually, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for you as well. And it goes so far as to trust that at all times, his deepest desire is to take care of you and to make you happy, even if sometimes his execution requires a little tweaking because maybe his attempts have been misinformed. Now, ladies, I am not going to lie to you. This journey is not easy. This is something that I continue to work on in my relationship every day, and I make mistakes often. But it's really important for us to remember that the patterns that we had ingrained into us early in our life were not that of knowing how to trust a man and to be in our feminine energy. So we learned to be independent, strong, super capable, and actually quite in our masculine energy, which there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. I'm a woman with a very strong inner masculine too. But the masculine is all about protection, it's all about keeping us safe. And for us to truly trust our partner, we have to actually let them be the masculine in the polarity and allow us to drop into our feminine. But if you were brought up in an environment where your parents didn't really know how to trust, or perhaps you've experienced men who lacked integrity, weren't protector, provider, masculine types, or who didn't know how to show up with high integrity and truly love a woman as she should be loved, then, like me, perhaps your nervous system isn't wired to trust naturally. But this is our piece of healing. This is where we get to take charge and say, do you know what? I want to create a different story. I want a healthier way of relating than I've seen modeled to me in my upbringing. I want a more harmonious, loving, and trusting relationship. And I am willing to do the work to create this reality for myself. The way that you will know with your partner if you are not responding with trust to a situation is that you will respond with one of these three emotions. So track yourself, start to notice when you're feeling these emotions in communication with your partner. Irritation, frustration, skepticism. These three emotions are your warning flags, your red flags for yourself to say, oh, wait, if I'm feeling irritation, frustration, or skepticism, I am not trusting my partner's good intentions and that they are truly wanting the best for me and that they've got my well-being as their forefront. The benefits when you finally learn to fully trust your man, and that means always assuming the best of him, trusting that if he said something, he will do it. Maybe his where it is on his priority list is a little different from where it is on your priority list, in which case you get to communicate lovingly about that, but trusting that if he said he's going to do it, that he intends to do it. It may just be a bit further down his list. And trusting that when he expresses an opinion about something, that actually that opinion is well thought out, well researched, and comes from a really grounded, trustworthy place in him. And therefore, you get to trust that opinion too. What is available to you when you step into this more feminine, more trusting, surrendered space of love and really creating teamwork with your man because you're on the same team rather than opposing teams, is your man moves closer towards you. He starts to open up emotionally. He starts to actually see you as his long-term relationship, his future, as wife and marriage material. You allow space for his protector, provider archetype to really step forward and shine, which then has the beautiful added bonus of really supporting you to drop more deeply into your feminine flow, your feminine surrendered trust, yummy, beautiful, relaxed energy. You get to deepen trust and intimacy in your relationship, unlocking new levels of passion in your lovemaking, and you build a strong relationship that can stand the test of time. As a plus bonus, you also finally realize that this man is somebody you can lean on and rely on, which, if you're anything like me as a strong, independent woman, is a real edge. It's a real edge for us to trust that deeply. So imagine a relationship in which actually you feel that safe, to know that your man has your back. He's going to step up in those moments when you ask him, hey, can I lean on you in this way? Can I rely on you in this way? When I've made these shifts in my relationship, oh, the healing that happens within me is so deep. It's really powerful. It allows me to heal all the times in my past when I lent on somebody and they weren't there for me. And I created a story in my head that actually it wasn't safe to trust, it wasn't safe to lean on, wasn't safe to rely on, which is why I became so super independent. And what I've created in my relationship and what my clients create in their relationships when I teach this to them too is this deeper level of communication, because you communicate on more of an emotional level rather than just cerebral. The emotional intimacy that's available. I've had clients who are dating men who previously had never really shown any of their emotional side to them. And when they started to make these shifts, started to really trust their man on a deep level and communicate from their heart, these men felt safe enough to actually start to open their emotions to their women. And the shift that's so beautiful that occurs in a relationship when finally the parts of your partner that you've been longing to see, longing to connect with, are finally available to you. It's just the most delicious experience. And for me as a coach, when my clients tell me, oh my God, Natalie, like he finally did this, he finally told me, like his deepest fears, or that he really sees a future for us, and that actually he feels more connected to me than he's ever felt more connected to any other woman. How I feel as a coach is just, off the chart amazing as well. So it's a win-win all round. So I would love to hear from you. What have you learned in this video? Has this helped you? Do you have any questions? Because I'm sure this has evoked questions for you. I'd love to hear what your questions are around this topic. And I will either answer you directly in the questions, or perhaps I will feel inspired to make another live stream about answering your questions so that I can go nice and deep into the juicy details and really support you to make this internal shift so that you can pull your beautiful masculine man closer to you and allow him to really see you as his future, so you can create that relationship that is strong and resilient and stable and really can last the test of time.